Coming up, a tour of our indoor greenhouse. Hello and welcome to another LifeOnOurHomestead.com gardening video. My name is John, and if this is your first time here, welcome. And if you want to learn more about how to grow a successful garden, click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Our planning is now done and it's time to get our indoor greenhouse started. So I thought it would be good to give you a quick little tour of how we have set up our indoor greenhouse. If you're interested in doing your own greenhouse, check out my video series, and I'll link in the card above, on getting started with your indoor greenhouse. So I thought this would be fun to kind of give you a little informal tour of how I have things set up. So let's get started. So I'm down here in my unfinished basement, and basements work great because you get that nice, cool, even temperature year round. So let me walk to the back here and kind of show you the rack setup that I have. So this is two Harbor Freight racks that I have heavily modified, and that's the basis for my growing. So you can see down here I have some areas that aren't lit. That's usually where I'm starting my germination, that don't need the lights. And then up top here I have two rows that I use for my growing. Now, so let me show you kind of what I did to this Harbor Freight greenhouse. You can see there's copper pipe here instead of the standard green poles. That's because they weren't high enough to put lights in, and especially when the plants grow. And so I just took out the regular pipes and put in some other pipes, and then also you see there's two of them. And so all I've done here is, if you can see here, I've just put a strap between the two, and I've done that at a couple places down below also. Just strapping those two together. And also, because this was on the ground, you can see I just put some cinder blocks down, and that helps just elevate everything so I don't have to bend over all the way to the ground for the first set. Now back here you can see that I just have some web strapping that I've strapped to the cross studs, and that's just going to help just keep this whole thing from tipping over. Now, the lights I use are just regular cool lights that are 4 foot long. Now, you can do, and I'll show a picture here of my old greenhouse. In my old house, I did do 2 foot long, but the cost of those, they're just not in production that much. So 2 foot long lights and bulbs is just an expensive thing. So I did the 4 foot long, and that's why I have two of them strapped together, because that is 4 feet long. It fits the light. And I'll kind of come in here, and you can see I just have jack chain that I've put to an eyelet there in the plastic, and then just ran that jack chain, and then so that allows me to lower and raise these lights as needed. So my lights are on this plug strip that has a timer, and so I'm able to plug in all of my lights into this timer and run it that way. Now you notice everything is 3-prong grounded. That's important when you're doing an indoor greenhouse. You got a lot of moisture around. And so this is a nice timer because it is a grounded timer. So for germination, because my basement does average around 50 degrees and I need 70 degrees for germinating, you have some options. What I've done is I've just got some of these seedling mats that I use, and I just set them down and then put the trays over the top of them, and that gives me my soil temperatures. There's some ones that have single tray, and then as you can see there's one that has double. And so I just plug these into a separate plug strip. And then also you can see also I have boards because what I found is the heat was not being retained when I just put them on this mesh. So I just use some cheap boards just to set those down, and it kind of keeps everything nice and warm for my germination. So on this organizing shelf, I have all my trays and all my supplies that I just need to kind of store. And so that sits on the other side of this space, and it works out pretty good. Okay, getting to my potting station, what I did is I just have a 4 foot by 2 foot table that I just have elevated up. These are the ones you can get at Costco or Sam's. So I have the table there. And then kind of along the back wall, I just started putting all my supplies, I use a bunch of, we were going to throw them away or donate them, just a bunch of these measuring cups. And those work great for just working and using soil. I have my soil blocks. When I get a video on these on how to use soil blocks, I'll link that in the info card above. So I use this catch basin for preparing my trays, and then also when I'm doing seed blocks and I'm having to get really moist soil, that really helps to have all that kind of contained. And this is a Johnny's basin, and so I'll link that below. So we're downstairs in the basement in the area that's designated as going to be the bathroom. And so I have a couple drains to take advantage of. Also, I have the water pipes. And so this is a great thing to have in your indoor greenhouse, is a source of water to be able to water your plants and to be able to wash and do whatever you need to do. So this I just got, I believe at Lowe's. It's a standalone unit. And then I just hooked it up to the existing drain that'll be where the sink goes in the bathroom to be finished someday. So up top, I just have all of my supplies, and some are in bins, some of my seeds I keep in bins. And so this is just kind of a nice place just to store and keep everything out of the way. A couple handy tools here is, this is from Thermoworks. This is meant to pretty much go hang in a fridge, but this works good just to see what my average temperature is down here while I'm working. So another nice thing to have is a thermostat like this that has the min and the max. That way, when you push the min and the max, it'll tell you what the temperature was at the time of your low, and it'll tell you the time of your high. And so that kind of tells you what's going on in your greenhouse while you're not around. So a key thing to have until you don't realize you need it is having some type of task lamp, especially working with seeds and you kind of drop them and you want to see what you're doing. So I have the lights that are obviously over the greenhouse, and then I have some lights that are above, but I also have this nice clamp task light that works great. One item that I like having with these seedling mats is some type of thermostat control, because if you see here on the directions, they say pretty much this mat will provide 10 to 20 degrees above the ambient temperature. So if I'm here downstairs right now at 60 degrees, that means it'll be anywhere from 70 to 80, which is kind of ideally for germination. But what happens if you're 70 downstairs and now you're 80 to 90 and your plants are too hot, or maybe you're 50 or 40 downstairs and now you're not hitting that 70-degree germination temperature? So what this does is this has a temperature probe. So I grab it there. This temperature probe just goes in one of your pots, and then you plug this in. You plug your heat map in here, and then this plugs in the wall. And so you dial the temperature and you say, turn this mat off when this hits 75 degrees. And so it kind of gives you a range of where you want this mat to be. And so this will take care of that for you. I hope you found this video helpful in getting your indoor greenhouse started. If so, give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you have any questions. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss anything. So my name is John with lifeonourhomestead.com. Until I see you next time, go out and enjoy your garden.